Between the ages of 16 and 40, we live our boldest stories: love, career, mistakes, glory, regrets. But what if your ascendant already reveals what kind of regret you'll face? And which planetary dasha will teach you the hardest lesson of your youth? Today, we're going to look at the dasha that you need to be cautious of for all the ascendants during your most karmically loaded years, beginning with Aries ascendant. For Aries ascendants, you're born to lead. Aries ascendants sprint into life like it's a battlefield. From 16 onwards, they crave independence and fast success. The only regret they face is that they rushed in too quickly or burned what mattered. Whether it's early marriages, aggressive career, or estranged family, Aries regrets not slowing down. And the most dangerous dashas for you are two dashas. One is Mars dasha, especially between 18 and 30, because that could give you a lot of overconfidence and aggression, which could lead to a lot of damages. Rahu dasha, especially if it is in the 7th house, or if it is in 10th house, or your 12th house. It could lead to fame, obsession, wrong relationships, scandals. And what you learn later in life is that real strength comes from restraint, not reaction. And if Saturn's dasha comes much later in your life, like around 45 or 50, or even after 35, that will humble you beautifully. And that's when things start to work out for you. At least you see clarity in life. And for Taurus ascendants, Taurus people are grounded and loyal. Taurus lives for stability and sensory comfort as well. But between 16 to 40, that comfort often becomes a trap. And the regret is that you stay too long in what you outgrow. Taurus regrets not leaving that stagnant job, that one sided love, or that suffocating family relationship. And the dangerous dashas for Taurus is your own Lord, which is Venus dasha. If it comes early, then that comfort blinds evolution. You stop growing. And Moon dasha brings emotional vulnerability. It could give you toxic dependency. And if you go through Ketu dasha, there could be unexpected karmic separation, detachment that you did not want. In Mercury and Sun dasha, you actually get into the real world, but only after Ketu cuts the cord. Especially during Sun dasha, you start to see some really good name and fame. For Geminis, curiosity rules. You explore, create, talk, flirt. But between 16 to 40, that endless stimulation becomes your undoing. You dabble in everything but not mastering anything. Whether it is relationship, career, skills, all becomes half finished or half committed. And especially if you're going through Rahu dasha, that kind of heightens anxiety, leads to obsessive thoughts, especially where you have a loop of thought. Moon dasha brings emotions that override logic. It brings about messy entanglements. Venus dasha could bring romantic relationship which is like an illusion, and that leads to a heartbreak. But your turning point comes during Saturn dasha. Saturn dasha later slows the mind and brings discipline. But by then, Gemini looks back at what could have been. That could happen. So be very careful during Rahu, Moon, and Venus dashas. For Cancer ascendants, you're the nurturer, the protector. Cancer ascendants feel everything deeply. Between 16 to 40, you give too much, too early, to too many people. And the regret that you will face is that you were always there for somebody, but who's even going to be there for you? Often, your family or your love story becomes your battlefield. And the most dangerous dasha for you is, of course, your Moon dasha. If it comes early, there could be emotional decisions which could have lifelong consequences. If it is Mars dasha, then there could be explosive arguments for Cancer natives. There could be instability at home. During Ketu Dasha, you feel like you've lost your identity. That could happen. Your turning point, however, comes during Venus or Jupiter Dasha, and that will help you in midlife to help you love yourself again. For Leo ascendants shine bright, sometimes too bright, too soon. You're drawn to attention, validation, and also power between 16 and 40. And the regret that you would face is that, I chased recognition and lost authenticity. Whether it's choosing career over connection or pride over apology, Leo looks back with a twinge of regret. And the dangerous dashas for you or Sun Dasha, especially 16 to 24, where ego is greater than the empathy that you feel for somebody else. And that could be a really bad thing. And if you're going through Rahu Dasha, that is also a not so good Dasha for you, because that will give you over ambition and that could lead to your downfall. If you're going through Moon Dasha, there could be sudden emotional chaos that disrupts your image. But what redeems you later is actually Saturn's grounding and Jupiter's wisdom. Especially watch out for those antardashas of Saturn and Jupiter. Legacy over limelight. That's when you really get success or find how to move ahead in life. For Virgo ascendants want control, logic, clean lines, but life between 16 and 40 could be chaotic because you feel like you overanalyzed, overthought, and missed the magic. Love slipped by, chances lost, perfectionism sabotaged spontaneity. So the dangerous dashas that you need to look out for are Moon Dasha, because there could be an emotional overdrive, there could be an emotional burnout. Venus Dasha could give you insecurity in relationship for Virgos, and that leads to obsessive love or detachment. Saturn Dasha turns you into work machines. This is also not good for Virgos, because Saturn is your sixth lord. And the later lessons that you learn is Mars or Jupiter Dashas finally force you to act instead of analyze. And that is when things get going for you. For Libra ascendants, Libra wants balance, but ironically, your youth is full of imbalance. You give away your identity in the name of peace. Your regret would be that you lost yourself trying to be who other people wanted you to be. They say yes when they mean no. That is the problem with Libra. You should learn to say no when things don't get going for you. And you should not stay in bad love stories. And that could really happen. That could really ruin your peace of mind. Of course, you try to avoid conflict. You don't want conflict. And when the time really comes, you realize that you've lost a lot of valuable time in a bad relationship. That could happen. And the dangerous dashas for you are Venus Dasha, because that could get you into addictive habits or a lot of indulgence in things that you shouldn't be indulged in. And Venus Dasha could give you people-pleasing peaks. Rahu Dasha could give you glamour, fame, and also bad partners. Moon Dasha could give you over-attachment to toxic relationships. And also there could be a phase in your life where you regret you didn't take decisions with regards to your career. The redemption comes during Sun Dasha, because Sun is your 11th lord. Also during Mars and Saturn Dashas, which force you to reclaim boundaries and truth and gain that fame that you lost en route. For Scorpio ascendants, pain is fuel. Scorpios face betrayal, loss, passion, and rebirth between 16 to 40. But the regret is that you pushed away the ones who loved you and trusted the wrong ones. There could have been secrets, obsessions, power games, emotional trauma. And the dangerous dashas for you are, of course, Mars Dasha. There could be too much intensity and self-destruction. Ketu Dasha, complete withdrawal from love or career. Rahu Dasha gives you sexual chaos and also some karmic debts. Your resurrection happens during Jupiter Dasha or Antardasha. Jupiter brings wisdom. Sun also gives you clarity, but you're never the same again. For Sagittarius ascendants, freedom, travel, philosophy, Sagittarius seeks truth but often runs from intimacy. And Sagittarius's regret is that you run from what mattered most. You chase dreams and leave behind people who mattered. Later, the silence speaks for itself. The dangerous dashas for you are Jupiter dasha. There could be arrogance, false optimism. Venus dasha could give you overindulgence, affairs, and escapism. Rahu dasha could give you wanderlust, which leads you to not having a firm foundation. Your growth path happens during Saturn and Mercury dashas that teach you to build instead of bounce. For Capricorn ascendants, you're the builders of destiny. Between 16 to 40, Capricorns work harder than most people, but feels emptier than they admit. You regret climbing that mountain alone and find no one at the top. You skip love, health, joy. You make a lot of sacrifices, all for career, all for your gains, whatever you're aiming for. And the dangerous dashas for you are, of course, Saturn dasha, overwork, burnout, emotional coldness. All of this could be felt. During Moon dasha, you could face emotional explosion after years of resentment and repression. During Rahu dasha, there could be fame or collapse, either of which is possible, but it's still advisable for you to find remedies for Rahu if it happens between the ages of 16 to 40. But the healing phase comes from Venus and Jupiter that brings balance and connection back into your lives. For Aquarius ascendants, you're detached, but you're a visionary. Aquarius builds the future. They're known for innovative technology. But in youth, you ignore the present. And your regret is that you push love away and miss the human part of life. You may become emotionally unavailable, too logical. Loneliness disguised as independence could happen to you, and that would be something that you regret at a later date. And the dangerous dashas for you is Saturn dasha, which could give you isolation. Ketu dasha could give you existential crises. Rahu dasha could give you disconnected ambition. What really helps you is Venus dasha. Venus could teach you sweetness. Watch out for Venus dasha or Antardasha. Moon teaches feeling. Life softens you eventually, so don't worry about it. For Pisces ascendants, you're the dreamers, but between 16 to 40, Pisces often lives in a fairy tale you wrote yourself. The regret, you trusted too blindly and paid the price. You could be emotionally naive. There could be romantic fantasy. And there could be spiritual escapism because Pisces is the 12th house in the natural zodiac order. And the dangerous dashas for you are Moon dasha. Moon dasha could emotionally overwhelm you. Rahu dasha could create illusions. False gurus could come into your life. There could be romantic betrayal. Venus dasha could be overgiving. There could be a codependency kind of situation. But later in life, you could get aligned, especially if you're going through Sun and Jupiter dashas, which could give you a sense of reality and being grounded. It helps you use your intuition and wisdom to tackle real life problems. So especially if you're going through Sun Antardasha or Jupiter Antardasha, watch out for that wisdom that comes like an awesome wave and helps you tackle many life problems. Now, of course, if your 16 to 40 phase is karmically dense, your ascendant gives the stage, your dasha writes the script, and you choose how the story ends. So remember, you have that free will. Do drop a comment. What's your ascendant Mahadasha? Let's decode your regrets and rewrite redemption. Like, subscribe, and stay aligned. Until next time, trust the planets, but never forget your own light. It's me, VJ, signing off. Until I see you with another new video very soon.